Hello, my dear children. I hope all are doing fine. Welcome to Unit 3, Section C, The Shadow and the Flash. Jack London is the author of this lesson. Let's read about him. Jack London was in his lifetime one of the most popular authors in the world. In his writing career, he produced 50 books and several short stories. The Call of the Wind and White Fang are two of his most popular books. So let's understand the title of the lesson, that is the shadow and the flash. We all know what a shadow is, yes, and flash is the beam of light. So here we have three objects that we have already learned in science, that is transparent, translucent and opaque. So let's read about it first. As transparents are, light rays are able to pass through transparent objects and these objects see through like clear glass and water. Translucents are those objects which allow some light to pass through them, and this means that we can partially see through them. And opaque objects do not allow any light to pass through them. This means that we cannot see through them at all. So I hope you all have understood this. Now let's understand the lesson. Paul Trichlon and Lloyd Inwood seemed born to rivalry with each other and I to be the peacemaker between them. They were always competing, trying to outdo each other. Now here the narrator that Paul Trichlon and Lloyd Inwood were always in competition with each other and I, that is the narrator, always made peace between them. Both Paul and Lloyd always competed to let each other down. When Paul Tichlorn entered college, he decided to study the natural sciences, specializing in chemistry. So now here Paul, when he entered college, he went to study natural sciences and he thought of specializing in chemistry. Lloyd followed Paul's lead. Now, after Paul joining that college, Lloyd also did the same thing. Their rivalry soon became a noted thing throughout the university. Each was a spur to the other, and they went into chemistry deeper than any student had gone before. Now, here also at the university, their sense of competition was known to all, and each was a spur, means each worked as a motivation to the other, and both studied chemistry as none of the student had studied before in that university. It was at my home, after they had taken their degrees and dropped out of the world's sight, that the beginning of the end came to pass. Now, there at the narrator's home, after they all receiving their degrees and were not much in the people's sight, the beginning of the end came close. Now, let's read what does this actually mean, the beginning of the end came close. On the day I have in mind, Paul Tichlorn had been absorbed all morning in my study over a scientific journal. I was out in the garden when Lloyd Inwood arrived. We soon began discussing the physical properties and possibilities of invisibility. A perfect black object, Lloyd asserted, would escape and resist the sharpest vision. Now, as the narrator remembers, on that day, Paul was busy in a scientific journal, and the narrator was sitting in the garden there, and that time Lloyd arrived. And Lloyd and the narrator, they both started discussing the physical properties and possibilities of invisibility. And then Lloyd exclaims that a perfect black object can escape and resist. Resist means can bear the sharpest vision. Color is a sensation, he was saying. It has no objective reality. Without light, we can see neither colors nor objects themselves. All objects are black in the dark, and in the dark it is impossible to see them. If no light strikes upon them, then no light is flung back from them to the eye, and so we have no vision evidence of their being. So, children, in the paragraph that I just read, these words were spoken by Lloyd to the narrator. And in these words, he says that color is a sensation. It means it's not fixed. Like in camera, we can always reduce or make the color bright or can even change it. Okay. So here now, It's not based on facts, as without light we can't see any color or objects. In dark, no object is visible, as what Lloyd is telling the narrator. Further, he tells him that if no flashing of light on the object takes place, then no light is flung back. Flung back means reflected, and thus, because of this, we can't see the objects during night. But we see black objects in daylight, I objected. Now, here the narrator objects him by saying that we can see black objects in daylight. Very true, he said, and that is because they are not perfectly black. Were they perfectly black, absolutely black, we could not see them in light as well. And so I say, with the right pigments, properly combined, an absolutely black paint could be produced, which would make invisible whatever it was applied to. Now Lloyd explains the narrator to the question he objected him with, that how black objects can be visible during daylight. Lloyd tells him that it's because the objects are not perfectly black, and if they were, then they wouldn't have been visible in light as well. He continues saying that with the right elements and proper combination means mixing, a black paint can be produced which, when applied, can make anything invisible. It would be a remarkable discovery, I said, still unconvinced, for the whole idea seemed too fantastic. Now, listening to Lloyd's words, it was really a remarkable discovery, but still the narrator wasn't convinced, even though the idea seemed too fantastic to him. Remarkable! Lloyd slapped me on the shoulder. I should say so. Why, old chap, to quote myself, with such a paint would be to put the world at my feet. And I, he broke off shortly, then added, well, I have begun my experiments, and I don't mind telling you that I am on the right track. Now, in this paragraph, the narrator tells Lloyd that if I have to be invisible, why would I coat myself with paint so that the whole world is at my feet? Further, Lloyd interrupts him by saying that I've already started with my experiments and I know that I am on the right track. A laugh from the doorway startled us. Paul Tichlorn was standing there, a smile of mockery on his face. Mockery means to make fun of. You forget, my dear Lloyd, he said. Forget what? You forget, Paul went on. Ah, you forget the shadow. Now, children, here we know that shadows are made by blocking light, and if an opaque object gets in the way, it stops light rays from traveling through it. Now, that results in what? Forming a shadow. So, that was what Paul was telling to Lloyd. I saw Lloyd's face drop, but he answered sneeringly, I can carry a sunshade, you know. Now, sneeringly means with lack of respect. And what he tells him that he can carry a sunshade with it. Then he turns suddenly and fiercely upon him. Look here, Paul, you'll keep out of this if you know what's good for you. This is how Lloyd reacted. A fight seemed close at hand, but Paul laughed good-naturedly. I wouldn't lay fingers on your dirty pigments. You may succeed beyond your most optimistic expectations, yet you will always end up against the shadow. You can't get away from it. Now I shall go on the very opposite track. My line of inquiry will be to do away with the shadow. Now, here the narrator tells us that a fight was just about to start, but Paul laughed as he had good nature. Paul tells Lloyd that he is not interested in his dirty pigments. He tells him that even though he may be positive in his expectations, yet the shadow will be the problem. Paul says that he simply wanted to inquire about the shadow. Transparency! Ejaculated Lloyd instantly. But it can't be achieved. These lines tells us that Paul was doing experiments based on transparency. So Lloyd he gave a very fast reply, but then he later says that it can't be achieved. Oh no, of course not. And Paul shrugged his shoulders and strolled off. These words tells us that Paul didn't agree to what Lloyd said. So he shrugged his shoulders means showed indecision or indifference and strolled off means left for his leisurely walk. This was the beginning of it. Both men attacked the problem with all the tremendous energy for which they were noted and with the bitterness that made me tremble for the success of either. Here again now the narrator tells us that it was the beginning. Now again the competition started and both the men, that is Paul and Lloyd, they attacked each other as they were both fully filled with energy, and this is how they competed with each other for being successful. As Lloyd was working hard with his project on flash of light and Paul with the project on transparency. So, children, I hope you all have understood it till here. I'll continue this in the second part.